Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about you. I know you've known Ellie for a while, right?
Yeah, years. Yeah, so
Yeah.
quite a while.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Well, I guess I just wanted to touch base with you because, I'm also a coach and I've been working with Ellie just for only a couple of months now, but absolutely loving it. Obviously, her and Richie are amazing and, they're building a really, really beautiful empire together with a fabulous I guess meaning to the business as well, making everybody conscious and helping everybody become conscious in business and personally as well.
Hmm.
So from my perspective and what I'd love to I guess work on with you is anything that you need. So I do run my own coaching business as well called Chronic Positivity, and I know that you're obviously incredibly into health and fitness. So just know that's something I'm incredibly passionate about.
Cool.
I've been through. Oh, you're right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so I've been through lots of injuries and illness and stuff like that. So I started off with food and nutrition coaching, and I've done a lot of work on myself in terms of body, mind, and emotions when it comes to healing. So, not only just breaking through emotions and getting through stuff, but I think, when you're pushing those boundaries, when you're actually battling, chronic pain and all that type of stuff, it can be pretty intense. I'm sure you've come across a lot of that in your line of work as well.
Yep.
So yes, I was really looking forward to hearing from you and just sort of seeing where you're at and, just sort of ascertaining, I guess, after a little bit of a chat, how I can help you and what I can offer. So I do, coaching, NLP, mentoring and stuff like that. So I'm quite intuitive. So if we just start sort of having a little bit of a chat, tell me where you're at and, what you really want to get out of this call, I suppose, maybe set a bit of an intention for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what to expect going into like this first call with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just to I guess tell you a bit more about myself and where I'm at the moment.
Yep, that'd be great.
Yeah, but just to give you like a bit of background, like I've been working with Ellie, as you probably know, for like quite a while. And
Yep.
like I used to be living in Sydney and moved to Singapore 3 years ago. And I've had like my kind of working situation has changed, working in like different gyms and like becoming employed by different gyms as well. So like the amount of time that I've had to spend on like my own business and doing like online coaching and that kind of thing has changed based on like my responsibilities and the time that I have to work on them. And then like mixed in with that has just been kind of like up and down with my mindset and motivation as well. So yeah, I guess recently I've been I stopped coaching with Ellie a couple of months ago, just because I was finishing up work with my current employer, current gym, and am setting up, becoming like a part owner of a new gym. So just wanted to save a bit of money and kind of just focus on doing PT sessions and kind of give myself a bit of a break from doing work outside of that, like doing my online business and social media, that kind of thing. Just wanted a bit of a break and wasn't feeling all that motivated to work on that stuff as well. So now the gym's set to open next Monday and I should be handing my notice to resign at my current gym next week. Because I'm just waiting on my bonus to be paid, which is like a
good move.
Yeah, I need that bonus.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's kind of been a bit of a stress, like just waiting for that to come. And the fitness industry in Singapore is quite small as well, so I was a bit worried that the word would get out and then my current gym would do something and not want to pay me. So yeah, that's just been stressing me a bit. And yeah, just coming out of like a bit of a a low period with my mindset. I was thinking of getting a coach, and I was kind of wondering, like, should I go back with Ellie or should I try someone different? Because, you know, sometimes even as a personal trainer, if you kind of get used to the coach or used to the trainer, you might kind of lose that work ethic or drive, because you know, end up becoming friends with them. So I was considering, like, should I get a new coach or should I like get some therapy, like to work more on my mindset? And I don't know if it's like some deeper issues or what. But yeah, since going back with Ellie, I feel great.
Awesome.
Usually it's kind of like that, you know, you sign up, you put some money down, and then you feel good for like the first month or so, and then things start coming up. And like in the back of my head, it's like I've always got that self-doubt that I just can't keep feeling like this the whole time. So I'm just trying to take it day by day, and
okay. So no, look, I totally hear you. I've been through many of what you just said before. You know, I think you use the word mindset quite a bit, and, you know, obviously feeling motivated, and, you know, the self-doubt comes in, and it always is one of those situations when you're looking for something, right? So you're feeling, okay, look, I'm feeling a little bit unmotivated at the moment, or struggling with my mindset to get moving, making sure that I'm in the right place. And, you know, I don't really know if there is something underneath that. You know, as Ellie's probably explained to you, you know, the unconscious is really, really powerful, and we can follow these particular patterns if we've been, you know, going down this road for quite some time. And if that's our pattern, so I'll give you a perfect example of this. I used to work with different people, coaches and whatnot, and I was actually working on relationships. So my ex-husband and I broke up, and I had this particular pattern with men when it was actually, you know, I would be attracting this particular person, and, you know, it'd be really passionate and fantastic, and then it'd just fizzle out. And I'm like, what is going on here? And sometimes it's actually really powerful to check in with yourself in different areas of your life to try and find out exactly what is coming up for you. So my actual pattern there was that I was attracting people that weren't ready to commit, because I looked at every area of my life, and in probably about 2 or 3 other areas, I wasn't committing to myself. So, you know, I wasn't committing to sorting out my finances, and there was some health stuff coming up and all that type of stuff. And once I sort of really identified that and shifted my focus, I got really, really clear on what was coming up for me as well, and sort of identified, yep, okay, there's a bit of self-doubt there and it's here specifically, or there's a bit of fear here and it's here specifically. Then that was just an incredible breakthrough for me, and I attracted my beautiful partner that I have now, and, you know, it was a massive breakthrough. So I guess that's what I'd really love to have a chat to you about, and see if we can sort of uncover what's actually coming up for you. So when you talk about, you know, you're struggling with mindset, can we go a little bit deeper there? What does mindset mean to you, and is it motivation? You know, when you say mindset, what does that mean?
I guess motivation is like the surface of that, but it's more like confidence, like fear of failure, you know, fear of, or worried about what other people think, like comparing myself to other people. That's kind of what it is. And then, I guess just like the feeling of avoidance, and like not wanting to do the work, and just doing like the easy stuff. Like I always feel like just showing up to PT sessions is easy for me.
Yes.
It's because I just have to show up, like pretend like everything's okay, and just like deliver a session. But it's more the work that I have to do when no one's looking. and
Yeah.
like sitting down at my laptop and having like the discipline to not only like just sit down and do it, but also to feel like I want to do it as well. Yeah, so I guess during those times where my mindset hasn't felt great, I would prefer to like watch Netflix or procrastinate. I also find like I'm much more tired.
Yep.
So even if I get like 7 hours sleep, I'll feel really exhausted and feel the need to nap. But now when I'm feeling better and I'm actually like busier and doing more, like I don't need to sleep as much.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? So do you find when you actually do sit down at your laptop and do that work, so is that when you do actually feel good? Is that what you're saying?
Probably like not during those times of low motivation.
Yeah.
Like it feels like a real struggle, but when I've got the momentum,
Yes.
now it feels completely different. So I feel like a completely different person doing the same task.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's powerful, isn't it? I know it's so easy when stuff's coming up. It's like, oh, I could not be bothered doing this. I'm just going to throw on Netflix. I swear Netflix does this to a lot of people, right? But we get a little bit obsessed with shows and whatnot, and it is that avoidance. And I guess looking at where that avoidance is coming from, what is the emotion? Do you think? What's the actual emotion that's coming up there? You've spoken about, the confidence and fear of failure. Is it fear? What is the emotion that kind of comes up for you?
I don't know. It's just like a feeling of like depression, like just like I think I feel worse when I think about it. Like when I think about the amount of work that I need to do. But if I tell myself, like if I just try and avoid it, then I don't feel as bad. But I still get nothing done.
Yeah.
So if I'm like thinking about, oh, I should be doing this, why aren't I like doing the work? Then that just makes me feel kind of worse.
Yeah.
So I guess like during times where I've had coaching with Ellie and I've been feeling like this, on top of that, and having like some financial stress as well. If I'm paying Ellie for coaching, not using it and not doing the work, then like I beat myself up even more.
Yeah.
So I'm like, on top of that, on top of not doing the work, I'm just like throwing all this money away. And like I've told Ellie this before, it's not like her fault, or it's not that I don't see the value in coaching. It's more like the fault is mine.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And you know what, Tom, that's actually really powerful because, being aware of that is actually a huge thing. It's massive. I've worked with a lot of people in the past or seen it a lot in the past where it's like, oh, this coaching stuff doesn't work or whatever. Showing up and actually committing to yourself and being aware of that is huge. That's actually the first step. 90% of success is just showing up, and you're showing up. So I think it's really important to celebrate those little wins as well. And, if you are a high achiever and, you do have a massive to-do list and, you're feeling, the words that's sort of coming up in the back of my mind is overwhelm. Are you feeling a bit overwhelmed with everything that you have to do?
Yeah. And also like I've been known to be like a perfectionist as well. So, that tends to hold me back from completing tasks. So if like I have to write a Facebook post or like an email, it probably takes me like much longer than it should. Yeah, but I think also on top of that, like I'm just the type of person that doesn't like upsetting people. So I'll just immediately just say like, oh, it's not you, it's me. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's because I'm not doing the work, and that's why I need to like stop coaching. It's not the coaching that's not
Yep.
working. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm really feeling like there's actually two parts of you, and one part is incredibly motivated and is actually incredibly disciplined. You know that you want this, and you've obviously got very big goals and aspirations, and I can feel that you are incredibly aspirational to where you want to be, and you've got that vision. But it's just this stuff that's sort of getting in the way, that tears you, the overwhelm, the stress, and everything just kind of overtakes that. So you just
I don't
kind of
know if
stuck in.
I don't know if it's also like I don't really know what like when Ellie keeps asking me what is my like big vision, like, I don't really know what it is, and it's more like the shorter term goals that I'm like working towards. So like I know that like being tied into your vision is important to get you through like periods where you're feeling lower in motivation. But for me, it's more like financial security, like having more money in the bank, like having more engagement on social media, like having X amount of clients, like that kind of thing. I really like I've never really felt like a strong purpose to like change the world or anything like that, and I don't know if that's just like the type of person I am, and like I'm not really like initially I was not sure if like mindset work would like work for me because I'm just more like strategy and benefit from accountability, that kind of thing.
Definitely.
But I do realize like the importance of mindset after like years working with Ellie.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I've always been a bit uncomfortable doing like timeline therapy, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, that makes perfect sense because I think, look, we're all at different points in our journey as well, and we are all different. We all come from different backgrounds. We've all got our different belief systems, and we've all got our story. And I think sometimes it is actually, it may not be that you're not connected and you don't have that vision. There could be a block there. Which we can definitely have a look at. But I think with you at the moment, I'm just really picking up on the fact that the word overwhelm just keeps coming up for me, and I'm just really feeling like breaking a little bit of that down and working on where this there's the Tom that wants to be just efficient and actually work towards your goals, short term or long term, and then there's the other Tom that's going, oh God, I've got so much I need to do, I've got to sit down at my laptop and really get this discipline going, but oh man, I just want to put on Netflix, I just don't have the energy to do this. There's a saying that I love, which is you're not tired, you're uninspired. And that really resonated with me because I followed this pattern for a really long time with certain things that I wanted to do. And I think that's where it definitely is important, connecting to, something that is a little bit higher. But I think you've got to start where you're at, right? I guess it's kind of, if you're doing personal training with somebody, like say, for example, it's me and I've got lots of injuries, I'm not just going to come in and you go, right, okay, I'm just going to get you straight into like CrossFit type training, because you want this body, it's actually going to be, right, okay, let's break down what's going on with your body right now and see what you can do. And kind of go from there, right? So it's baby steps. It's baby steps, but it's also, and I'm sure that you do this with training with people as well, it is actually knowing how far to push, because you want to be able to do something that is pushing you out of your comfort zone and that is giving you butterflies, whether it's a short-term or a long-term goal. But it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be too easy. It doesn't have to be too hard, if that makes sense. We want to get you connected to where you're going. So when you're talking about financial security, having more money in the bank, more engagement and on social media and stuff like that, what is the feeling that comes up for you when you think about having that? Like if you put your hands on your heart and go, okay, if I achieve all of that, I won't say if, I should say when, I'll say when you achieve all of that, how does that feel and what does it look like?
I guess it just reduces like the amount of stress that I have, and just gives me the feeling of being successful, and just I think it's just the feeling of just success, I guess. Like that I am like good enough at what I do, and able to like support myself.
Yep.
I think it just goes back to like all those negative emotions of like not feeling good enough, and
And where does that come from? When was the first time in your life that you remember sort of feeling that feeling like I'm not good enough, right? I'm worried about what other people think. I have this fear of failure.
Apparently from like a really early age, like I think going back to like that perfectionist characteristic, like my mum said when I used to like color in like a coloring book, if I like just went outside the line just by a bit, I would like tear up the book and destroy it and like throw it.
Wow.
Like I don't remember that, but like she said that I was like that. But like when I was growing up, both my parents were like great, and like I didn't have a neglected childhood or so I don't know. I really don't know like where that kind of comes from.
Are your parents perfectionists?
My mum is, my dad's Japanese, so maybe in some ways he is, just like culturally.
Quite driven and...
career-wise, he's like quite driven, but also like really stingy with money, and my parents are no longer together, but my mum has been kind of sharing some things about him, and it just sounds like although like I have a certain memory of him when growing up, like I feel like he's not such a normal-ish kind of guy, and like still my parents got divorced like 15 years ago or so, but they're still in like legal battles now.
Oh my goodness. That wouldn't be stressful at all, would it? Far out.
So my mum just recently got like a summoned or served from my dad, and she's like responding to him right now, and she's asking me to file a separate claim to get my dad to pay off my HEX debt, which was like part of the court order when they divorced, and there was a separation of assets. So she was saying that that amount is like rightfully mine. So I mean, like there's all that going on, and I'm not close with my father anymore.
That's what I was just going to ask you. Yeah. So what is? Were you close to your dad when you were younger? Is this a recent thing that you're not close to your dad now, or?
Yeah, I think like below, like but before I was like 13 or so, like when I was really young, I felt like I was quite close to him.
Yep.
But like I feel like it's not like I'm not longing this acceptance or like to prove myself. Maybe it would be nice to be like, I've got all this money, and I'm not just a personal trainer kind of thing. Which are like some words that have come out of his mouth.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but not directly to me.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess there's a bit of judgment there.
Yeah, so like I understand a lot more about mindset and how it can be, traced back to your parents and your relationship, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe like deep down, like subconsciously, it's made like it's had an impact, but it's not something I'm stressing about, like, or thinking
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I think stuff like that, especially with father, if we talk about, the different emotions, when we talk about masculine and feminine energy and mother and father, it's kind of love and power. The love is that real sort of feminine energy and the power is that real masculine. And, to share something personal about me, I grew up with a father who was, I mean, we were moderately close when I was younger, but, he sort of went really off the rails, and I don't have a relationship with him now. And I've done a lot of work on that, because certain things have come up for me. There's been times where I'm like, I'm actually really cool with it. I'm fine. We're estranged, but it's okay. I didn't speak to him for quite a while. And then he came back into my life. So there's been kind of those ups and downs. And, it's been really a very interesting journey. I've done rebirthing and some NLP, some timeline therapy and stuff like that on the father side, because they can be a massive influence unconsciously without us realizing. I think ambitiously as well, especially if you've got, a very driven, motivated, a high-powered type father, that it has those expectations or those judgments towards you. So, yeah, it's amazing how it can actually sort of, when you're saying things about, you're worried about what others think and you're a perfectionist and whatnot, from a really young age, if you've got a really ambitious parent, that can actually just be a bit of modeled behavior. From the ages from 0 to 7, that's your imprinting phase, where your unconscious mind, it's like the trapdoor to your unconscious mind is just completely wide open, and everything is it's basically like stamped onto your unconscious. And it's amazing how much we pick up and that sits there. And yeah, it's crazy what can come up. So have you ever done, I know Ellie sort of filled me in a little bit, but just remind me, you said you weren't a massive fan of doing the timeline therapy stuff. Have you done the past timeline therapy around different emotions with Ellie?
Yeah, I did that for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to give you a heads up, I might need to leave in like 4 minutes or so.
Yeah, that's right. I just noticed the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did that. Good. Yeah, I did that in the past, and I kind of I felt like the benefit that I got from it was kind of similar to meditating.
Yes.
Yeah, just kind of like stopping and yeah, I felt the same like after 10 minutes of meditation kind of thing. But like, thinking back to like the first time that I felt something, like I always kind of felt challenged, like trying to do that. I don't know if like in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this correctly, or, like just worried about, choosing the right thing, or like, if that makes sense. It wasn't like 100% clear to me. Like, it's not like, oh, I immediately thought of, like that first case. It was more like, oh, do I just guess at like what age, I felt. So I think like, was it just meditation for me and not like getting the actual benefit of doing that timeline therapy, because I just ended up having to kind of guess like what age it would have been.
Yeah, I think, in certain situations, sometimes it actually can feel like you're just guessing when your unconscious mind answers for you. But, and it's funny that
Ellie was just like, just pick something, just say something. Just say the first thing that comes up. I'm like, but that's not logical. Like, how can that be correct if you like pulling something out of your ass and like just saying it? Yeah.
Yep. And you know what? It's funny. I think, yeah, I don't believe in coincidences. There's no mistake that I'm speaking to you, because I've always been but I need to understand it. I need to understand it. You have to explain this to me. It doesn't make sense. I said exactly the same thing the first time that I started looking into NLP. And I actually had a timeline therapy session. I'm thinking, what is this guy asking me? It makes no bloody sense. I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I think there's definitely some stuff that we can do together. I think I would love to do in our next session a parts integration technique. I'm not too sure if Ellie's ever done that with you, but it's basically talking about, you know, these two different parts. You know, there's the motivated, driven Tom that really wants to achieve this financial security and everything, and then the part of you that, you know, may not believe in yourself too much, or that is worried about what others think, and that fear of failure, and sort of connecting those parts. It's a really beautiful process, and I've done it with quite a few of my clients that, yeah, have just sort of felt a little bit torn between those two people that they are. So I think we might give that a go next time. But just quickly before we go, I guess I just wanted to ask, what do you do? I mean, you just mentioned meditation. In regards to how you're managing everything at the moment, you've obviously got a lot of stress and overwhelm. You've got your job, and, you know, you're being torn in a few different directions. Do you have a little bit of a ritual or a routine that you do daily, which gives you the calmness and that mindset shift that you really need?
Not really, just because, you know, some mornings I start earlier than others. So
Course,
like, ideally, like if I started at 9 or 10 a.m., like I'd be able to get decent sleep, and then, yeah, have time to do like a morning routine and like write down like the priorities for the day, like that kind of stuff, and meditate. But mostly I'm kind of always rushing to things.
Yep.
And maybe like I'll end up doing a bit of journaling at like 3 or 4 p.m. some days, where like when half the day's gone. So it really depends on the day.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. Yep.
Yeah. I guess like with my training, it's very consistent, and that kind of keeps me grounded. And yeah, I feel like that's kind of a break from work. But if I'm overwhelmed with things and not sleeping as much, then I'd prefer to nap than train. So hopefully I don't kind of when things start affecting my training and my energy to train, that's when I know things aren't the best. That's your sign. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing that you're really aware of that, Tom. That's perfect, because a lot of people don't really realise that. They just go, crash, go, crash. And, you know, the fact that you have so much awareness, really take a moment to let that sink in. I think you don't give yourself enough credit for how aware you are. You know, you're in exactly the right place, and you're doing it, which is just amazing. So I think sometimes it's really important to just stop and appreciate and celebrate the little wins, so you can move on to the next one. It doesn't have to be perfect. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. You know, what is perfect, really? So, you know, and you're talking to an incredible perfectionist with massive OCD. So, yeah, I'm really hearing you. So I just want to reassure you that I'm hearing you. So, look, I know you've got to run, but what I might actually do is shoot you a couple of suggestions, because I've always had an incredibly insane career, you know, running all over the place, especially managing health issues and lots of stuff over the years. And, you know, I always sort of said, well, yeah, I can't really do, you know, a full-on daily routine. And I've, you know, been through chronic insomnia and all that kind of stuff. It does get really hard. And when you're overwhelmed, that's how your brain works, right? And that's when you generally sort of go, oh, look, it's all just too hard. I'll just chuck on some Netflix, because I just can't go there. I'm tired. So yeah, I might just send you some little ideas and suggestions, and even a couple of meditations that I've found that have been really supportive for me. Just with the grounding, I think there's some beautiful stuff that we can do around just sort of, I guess, neutralizing the emotion a little bit, and just sort of getting this overwhelm I don't really like using the word balanced, because I think sometimes that can be a bit of a, a penthouse in the prison. We force ourselves too hard to achieve balance, and then we end up getting super, super stressed when we feel we don't have it, because sometimes life is really crazy. So, yeah, so I'd love to be able to support you with that.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Please feel free to reach out if you need anything.
Okay, yeah.
You know where I am, you know where Ellie is.
Yeah, yeah. So does that mean I'll speak to you in 2 weeks' time? Is that right?
Yeah, look, so I'm actually going away for a couple of weeks. So what I'll do is I'll have a chat to Ellie, and I'll see if Ellie might do the next one, and then I'll see you when I come back.
Okay.
So yeah, let me just have a chat to Ellie. I'll make sure that she gets all my notes, and I've recorded our session as well. So
okay, great.
yeah.
Hopefully have the video working by then.
Yeah, no major drama. It's
Sorry
all
about that.
No, it's all good. No problem. It was just really nice to connect. And as I said, yeah, you know where I am if you need anything, or you need to reach out just to ask a question or have a chat or anything like that. But I'll send you some stuff I think might be supportive in the meantime.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for your time.
Yeah, no worries, Tom. Have a good one.
You too, Beth. Yeah.
Thanks. Bye.